Hello guys and welcome to episode 12 of Minecraft Cities and Castles. Today we're taking a look at Cargyll Castle, which is the biggest castle I've ever made by a pretty large margin. It extends all the way down here, which I couldn't even get in frame. But before we take a look at this stuff down at the bottom here, let's get into the castle itself. This is loosely based, very loosely, off of Amon Khan in The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Mostly just for the blueprint. It's stylistically, it's all my stuff. One of the things I tried to do with this castle is have basically stone walls with a lot of texturing. I didn't use any mods or anything, so it took me a while to do all this. But I especially wanted the texturing to feel meaningful instead of just kind of random. So when you see cobblestone, it's like these long cracks running through. When you see granite, it's because it's been chipped away and stuff. You'll see kind of stain marks down the walls. But yeah, let's get into it. I like this portcullis design. It makes it look really beefy. So we come down here into the lower courtyard. It's a pretty, kind of a hard space to fill, but I think I did an okay job. We have these really big stables here with these tall kind of I guess areas for the horses. They're all pretty much standardized, so it's a cauldron filled with water along with some wheat and stuff. These towers are all octagonal, so a bit hard to build with, but I think it turned out pretty well. It's kind of why the castle is so big, because it's hard to build with octagons on a small scale. But this is the defensive tower. This is what we call the bulwark, essentially. I won't take you through the whole thing because it's pretty tall and pretty repetitive, but basically this whole bit is purely defensive, and it has the secondary tower in the middle that has a huge flag here. This is a mix of wool, powdered concrete, and warped blocks from the nether. And up here we have a little catapult. It's a pretty neat little design, all made out of like oak wood and stuff, and we have barrels of rocks here to throw in case somebody tries to approach the front door. From here you can get onto the walls. So we have another little defensive bit here, but these walls are pretty thick. I wanted the whole castle to really be on this like huge scale. The courtyard is kind of divided by these two elevated areas. So on this half we have the upper area. It includes a little house here with more laundry. Sorry, I say more because all my builds include laundry basically, as well as a storage and workman areas. And here we even have spots where you can see how thick the walls are to really hammer home like how impressive the size is. We also have some gardens, a sparring ring. So here we can see two people have been using wooden training swords. We have a blacksmith down here, of course. So he's using coal in this big oven to make his swords. And if we come over here, whoops, sorry. If we come over here, we can see all the coal and iron is locked away. This way people can't steal it in the night. We also have a chicken coop with one of the things I love including my builds, which are these fat little diagonal chickens. I think they just look awesome, and this is a design that is that I've been using for a while. It's pretty simple, but I think it's pretty believable as a little chicken coop. Coming inside here, we have the guest tower. So for any visiting dignitaries or lords, you have this kind of common area down here. We can sit with your family. I love the view out here. If we come all the way up, I know this is a bit dizzying, so close your eyes if you're prone to that. We have the kids' room. So here we can see the beds are unmade. They have little knickknacks like crystals and stuff, bookshelves, little toy chest with a changing area. So you can imagine that there's clothes all over the ground here. I like this. It's a nice way of separating the room without including walls. And of course, we have a toilet that goes through the whole tower. I'll show you the bottom. Pretty far way down. But we have a poop chute down here. And using some copper stairs to make it look like it's kind of staining the walls a bit. Let's come to the tower here. So this is the top level. This is where the lord, the visiting kind of dignitary, lord, emissary, that kind of person would hang out. I really tried to use these arched windows a lot in the build to kind of fit with that like whole medieval kind of Gothic window style. And if we go here, we can get onto the walls. So this is kind of not hidden passage, I guess, but it's just kind of tucked away conveniently. This building here is a barracks. So Cargyll Castle can muster a lot of men. Oh, that's the shadow. I was wondering what that was. Here's another little detail I like. It's a wine stain. So the bottle is tipped over, and I've used crimson wood here to make it look like it's staining the table. We have a kitchen with hanging copper pots and pans. And if we go upstairs, you can see that there are a lot of beds. So you do not want to mess with Cargyll Castle. Oops. It's definitely a challenge to make the builds look kind of come to life and be unique when you're using kind of a flat stone style. But I think in using shapes and using smaller buildings to break things up, it still comes together. It's also all about the details. So here we have like somebody repairing the walls. You can see a little bit of mortar, and they're spreading it on. This is something I did on a much bigger scale in Sarneville, with the huge kind of construction work that's going on in the church there. And this level here is connected to, well, the upper courtyard. So the upper courtyard is where the Lord hangs out. It's predominantly taken over by this garden, which is kind of concentric circles, as well as little bits on the outside. So let's kind of go through this from right to left. This way we can end with the castle. So coming down here, we have a half defensive, half kind of chill out spot. So you can look over here, or if people were coming in, you could shoot down. As well as the fact that this, I thought this connected. I guess it doesn't. Because in my mind, there's a tunnel under here that I'll show you in just a minute. That's what connects. So this here is a very small chapel. Little picture of baby Jesus up there. You have a bell up top, some pretty high windows, and a stone altar. And if we come down here, let me get a torch. If we come down here, we can see that there are crypts. Lydia and Thomas Gwynedd, as well as a little ossuary. And down further, we have this secret passageway that goes behind the little bit of light coming through there just because of the walls. But this is behind the stables and under the spot I showed you earlier. And if we come out here, there's a little guard room, and we can exit onto this wall. So that's under the bulwark tower. This sunflower field is basically just inspired by Shrek. I just love the idea of having a huge kind of Lord Farquaad-esque sunflower field. So it's a mix of sunflowers, leaves, tall grass, and little warped roots just to add a pop of color. But coming back up here, we have a little well here with a kind of decorated wooden paneling. And if we come around, gotta have your toilet, obviously. If we come around, we have a tower for servants. So this is kind of a neat tower. It's essentially a central room, and then this passageway snakes all around in a spiral staircase, all the way to the tippy top. And we can see, if we sneak in through here, that this level has like a balcony, a little sleeping area here, and an upper area here. So you'd imagine this is for like, say, a really important captain of the guard or something, or the chamberlain of the whole castle. And using again that kind of segmented motif to break up the rooms without putting in like whole walls. Let's come back down here. And you can see this bit snakes around the whole thing, and it's kind of dizzying, so I won't make you go through that. Whoops. Let's squeeze out. Coming now into here, we have the central piece. So it is a statue of a man holding a big shield and a spear, and this is Lord Thomas Gwynedd. So this is the grandfather of the current Lord Thomas Gwynedd, who owns the castle. I like to include little bits of lore in my builds. Here we have some little birdhouses on both sides. And if we continue coming around here, we have a greenhouse. I love how packed this feels. So obviously the more little bits you put in, the more lag you get. So you can't really do this for a whole city. But just for a castle like this, it's really nice to be able to put in like all your shelves, your little levers. You know, you can imagine this like a little axe or something. Cabinets, little hanging tools, pressure plates, trapdoors. And here we have the greenhouse itself. So we have some decorated pots from back before we had actual pots, along with a little raised growing area. So here we're growing melons and glowing berries and such. Definitely nicer with the connected glass, so thanks Optifine. Here we have the Cook's Tower. This is one of the bits that's more inspired by The Witcher 3. So Montcalm, as it appears, is mostly ruined, and I wanted to kind of bring that into this. So effectively, this tower was ruined by an attack that kind of catapulted big rocks into it and destroyed the walls. But they still want to use it because it's still, even though it's not really like super usable anymore, it still has some purpose. So we can see that I did not put any lights in here. That was silly. If we see here, we can see that we have a huge kind of pantry storage area. I'll take you upstairs first, because downstairs connects to something else. So upstairs, we can go out onto the walls on both sides. We also have this cool little crane thing for bringing up hay bales and barrels. And if we continue up here, you can imagine that the floors were replaced even though the walls are ruined. And up here we have a spot where two people have been coming to have a little romantic glass of wine on top of the ruined tower. But let's go back down and I'll show you the basement. So underneath the Cook's Tower, we have 3 doors here, or 2, sorry. This one is an ice room. So it's basically ice packed with snow and straw to keep it from melting in the summer. If you want any kind of ice drinks or even something cold, that's basically the way you're going to do it. So important to have that ice. And here we have the meat room. So we have these kind of canals here to channel the blood, and that's what these red nether brick stairs, that's what those are kind of symbolizing, is a blood that's been dripping down into these canals. If we come up here though, we enter the kitchens. So the kitchen is kind of a bigger version of the one we saw earlier. Again, I tried to make this look super hectic because I like the idea that it's just completely chaos. So up here we have like stacked plates and stuff. We have cabinets. There's herbs and blood on the ground. cooked meat, raw meat. There's a bird cage here. We have all sorts of pots and pans hanging from this like rafter thing. Towels that are being used, towels in the sink. We have our herbs here, huge pile of firewood, cakes, bread, little cookie stuff in the oven, as well as meat that's being roasted. So it's really supposed to look like super busy and chaotic, and the kind of tonal opposite to this concentric, peaceful area here. And of course, part of the gardens is this little romantic spot. I don't know why, I imagine you would eat spaghetti here. In my head, I'm thinking of it as a very Lady and the Tramp kind of place. Don't ask me why, I don't know. But let's finally get to it. So this is the big square tower. Going for some really strong, harsh shapes here. But also trying to break that up with different colorful layers, especially on the bottom 2 levels. So the bottom level, of course, is where the grand hall is, and then the second level is where the king and his children are. Or the lord, I guess? What did I call him? Lord. Yeah, no king here, sorry. So let's get into it. Here is the grand hall. I think it looks awesome. It's this white stucco kind of design with these 4 huge pillars here. It's all painted all around, especially these pillars, and I love the checkered blue and orange look, and that's carried into the carpet here. The floor also has a checkered look, so it's using the deep slate along with a mix of andesite, polished andesite, tuff. In the corners here we have like these big wooden kind of chimneys, which wooden chimney sounds like a bad idea, but this design I basically was inspired by Kingdom Come Deliverance, where they have kind of wooden paneled fireplaces. Here on the side we have 2 tables. So this table is empty here, whereas this one is being used right now just to show the difference. So here we have a dog bone on the floor, a cake stand, we have people eating honeycomb as dessert, and little glasses of wine and stuff, steak, bread, a lot of chairs pulled out so people are eating right now. Over here we have a harp. It's a bit dark, but let me show you this. It's essentially 2 glass panes that I had to use the debug stick to get apart from each other, and it looks like these strings, so you get this really nice harp effect. Up here we have the Lord's throne. There is a crossbow here, kind of a reference to Joffrey in Game of Thrones. You'll find all of my stuff is full of references to other things because I don't know, it's kind of just how storytelling works, I guess. I mean, you find stuff that inspires you and you try to make it your own, you know? The paintings. So the paintings are a mix of glazed terracotta and a bunch of little paintings stuck together. And there's no paintings that are like this size specifically in Minecraft, and if there were, they would get repetitive, so I find this is a really cool way of doing it, actually. And then finally behind here we have just a little table with plates and stuff. So I want to show you, if we go down to the basement is huge because this whole place is just massive. The basement has like this huge like cellar area with these big vats of wine. If we go down here we have like extra storage. So you can see like there's a tapestry up, there's all sorts of chests, extra chairs, empty baskets, empty barrels, there's even there's even like a milling wheel here. Over here we have a granary. So you can see it's absolutely full of wheat here, and then you have these little kind of troughs where it would flow out and you could just kind of scoop it up with your hands. But it's spilled out all over the floor, and you can see that with the wheat. And then if we come all the way back here, we have, okay. So this is supposed to look like a boarded up room, basically. Like there's parts of the castle that they aren't using currently because there's just too much space and there aren't enough people to fill it all. And if you're wondering, the main way to get in here is through this door over here. And this little walkway you can see down there. I really liked using the nether brick. I think it gives it a lot of much needed color. But let's go up to the second level. So if we took that staircase up, we would have come up right here. This part is a solar, so it's where the Lord can just hang out with his family without having to be around like 100 people. It's pretty nicely decorated. You have these like kind of striped wallpaper designs with wooden paneling on the bottom, some cushions under the windowsill, and you can imagine just having a nice time here. These candles are done with the debug stick. So you basically stick the lever to the wall and then use the debug stick to change which wall it's attached to. And then you can have these tiny little candlestick holders. Here we have a bathroom. So some shelving with some herbs and stuff, towels obviously. We have this cute little furnace designed to boil water for the big old bath here. You can see the sun shining through, so I think it would be a nice little relaxing bath. And you even have a bath mat to dry your feet on. Then over here, of course, the poop chute, because you always need a toilet. If we come to these two sides, we have this bedroom here and the one connecting on the other side. Oh, I can't fit in there. A lot of older buildings you'll see have these connecting chimneys. It's a bit exaggerated here because I just wanted to save space, but basically you can technically see from one room to the other because it's just a way better way of heating things instead of having two separate fires going. What I imagine for this room is that basically the Lord has a daughter that he treats as like a super girly girl. So it's like super mega pink. It has like pink petal beds and stuff, and it's all pink candles, pink clothes, pink stuff. And then on the other side, we have the son's room. And the son's room here is like more stereotypical boy colors. So we have like blue, a little bit of orange here, just to tie in the house colors. Got a little bit of cake. And the shuttered windows here. I think it looks really nice. The light coming through the windows. On this side here, we have the study. So it's this huge kind of tiled room. You can imagine like a big bear rug here. And these are like really big bookshelves that you need to go up a ladder just to get to the books up here. Here we have a desk with some scattered papers and a skull, because why not? A little bit of creepiness never hurt anybody. We can see the tops of the towers there. That was the kind of visiting Lord's tower that we saw earlier. And that was the defensive tower. There is a staircase here to get to the upper levels. But before that, I want to show you the Lord's bedroom. So this is where the Lord and Lady sleep. It looks rich, it looks opulent, it's really detailed, it has like striped walls, really like neat pieces of custom furniture. There's bits of gold, a little closet. We have a fireplace with a chair here. Little changing area. Here we have another little table. So in case you don't even want to spend time with the family, you just want to be you and the wife, you know. Little footstools, another little chest here under the window. And then he even has a balcony. So I always imagine that, you know, a king has to give a speech, and best way to give a speech is to stand on a balcony and look really cool and far up above the people as you're doing it. I don't know, that's my philosophy. I think balcony is the best place to give a speech. But let's go back through here and go to the upper levels. And the upper levels I'll do pretty quickly. I'll just show you a couple highlights from that. So, where are we? Here we go. So this level, immediate downgrade. You can see that we still have wallpaper, but now it's not colorful, it's just plain. Here we have the map room, so a little spyglass, and you can see out over there. There's the cook's tower. So this is the war room. This is where the king and his son and his lords and stuff can plan things out. I think that's a really nice little showcase of the castle there. You can see all the parts that we've already done. Connected to this is an unused meeting room. So with a castle this size, it's kind of repetitive to just have every room be like the most stereotypical kind of like bedroom or office or whatever. So it's important to have rooms that aren't being used or places that have potential but aren't currently fulfilling that potential to show kind of change in the seasons and growth and stuff. Oh, that's pretty. Here we have a little chapel. So those are cartography tables with sandstone walls to make it stick out of the wall there. And I won't go through most of this. It's mostly things like a little bedroom. That one's actually connecting. So I'll show you. This connects to an office. So you can imagine this is somebody who's pretty high up in the organization. Another little bedroom that connects to another. Sorry, this isn't an office actually. This is a bathroom. And then this connects to the hallway. So there's two ways to access that bathroom. Little bathroom there. Well, that's a poop chute kind of bathroom that has no actual bath in it. And then the upper level, to continue this kind of story that we're telling about it getting like kind of worse as you go up, is unpolished stone. There's no wallpaper here. And apart from that, we start seeing things like bunk beds. We also have the laundry room up here. So it's kind of hard to fit this in, but basically this funnel connects to the roof, which I'll show you when we get up there. But you can imagine that there's like clothes hanging here, and there's a little kind of divot in the wood here to kind of carry the dripping water, as well as a little spinning wheel and stuff. It's not my best laundry room. Maybe I'll do a top 10 laundry rooms one day, but there are other really neat things. So there is an apiary. There are bees at the top of this castle. Why? Because bees are really easy to keep, and you can kind of just send them out to go basically harvest the flowers for pollen and come all the way back up and make honey. And it's a pastime that a lot of people used to have, especially in towers. So a tower is kind of a mostly empty space other than the parts you're using for defense. So a lot of times you're just going to have an area like this where you're like, well, I don't know what to fill it with. And both in real life and in Minecraft, my advice to you is bees. Because bees are cool and you get honey and honeycombs and stuff. The one other cool thing I want to show you is this room. This is the murder room. A murder happened here. So it's basically this like completely rotted away room that no one has stepped in for like 50 years. Because essentially, someone got murdered in the bathtub and nobody wants to come in here because it's bad juju. It is a not good place to be. So it's completely falling apart. And over here we have the prison. So here we have a key, a little keyhole. I even named it lock, look at that. And in here we have a prisoner. So bed, little desk and a table, and then just a little chamber pot here. That's about gonna do it for this level. There are other little bits, but they're not really important. So storage room, little bedroom. Oh, this one, that's cool actually. This is a little crib with a play. What are those things called? The little spinny things that you put above a crib for the kid to play with. And I used glazed terracotta for that. That's pretty actually. But yeah, let's make our way to the very tippity top. So, geez, where the hell am I? So this is the top of the castle here. We can see that there are flags, and there are also these little places where the water kind of runs away from the roof and it drips down. So you have a little water stain there. Here's the map room I showed you earlier. And if you're wondering what that is, that's the poop chute. If we come around here, you'll see that there's a spot where it kind of dips in, and that's where the laundry room was, under that. And then in these places, these are basically guard rooms. So this room is filled with weaponry and stuff. And this room is just to hang out and chill out. That's why there's a couple chimneys there. And finally, we can come in here. The only way to access this is from here. This is basically the king's bunker. So it's really high at the top of the castle, and the only way to get to here really is to go through gate number 1, 2, 3, come into the castle, go through like 5 floors, break through this tower, fight your way along here, and then break into this door. And that's the only way you'd ever get up here, basically. It has a little poop chute, of course. Little kind of living dining room area, and then a bedroom. So you can see that there's a nice bed here, kind of slightly less nice bed here. It's pretty Spartan, kind of bare chambers. You have a little bird here, so you can imagine that if you're being surrounded and you want to send a message to your allies, you would send out a raven or something. And you can of course see all the way down there. So that is the kind of tippity top part of this. You can't actually access this tower, it's just for decoration, but it's pretty good decoration. I like it. It softens the shapes of the castle a little bit, especially this part where the prison was is very harsh, and then you kind of get that contrast where it softens out there. And the last thing I want to show you is that these basically there's been an effort to expand the castle. So they're trying to get like a whole town down here within the walls. So they built these walls along with some towers and stuff. I'll show you inside. It's super basic. It's basically just a little defensive thing. But basically the effort is to start building a town here. So what we have are, we have a well along with a bunch of tents where people are sleeping. And these are all workers that are here to start building the town. So we have one house that's already kind of constructed. You can see it's just like a one-room shack with a fireplace. And then here we have another place that's being constructed. So you can see they're laying out all the bricks. They have the wooden planks all laid out on a cart there, piles of wood to start shaping. And then here we have, it's on a diagonal, so hard to do the it's hard to do the kind of scaffolding, but here we have a house that's being built. And I know this was a long one. It's a huge castle. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And I will see you guys next time.